Hi and welcome to this channel. My name is Cynthia Wakio, and as usual I am joined by Pamina Swainaina, who is going to be sharing with us the 5 key habits that he has observed in highly successful Kenyans. Thank you for joining me, Pamina.
Thank you, Cynthia.
When you look around successful Kenyans, which are the key habits do you observe?
Yeah, this is quite an interesting topic because there are many ways to define success. Is it success in politics? Are we talking about success in career, business? But whichever way you look at it, you find there are some common traits that if you're looking at the politicians, the business people, even career-wise, you say there are some common traits that they share. And you know, we were discussing this off camera, and one of the traits they share is that good time management skills. Because remember, there's so much to do, but in a day, how many hours do you have in a day?
Depends. 12 hours, 8 hours.
Exactly. A lot of people, when you ask them that question, they'll tell you, oh, you have 24 hours a day. But the reality is you don't have 24 hours. In fact, they say in a day, the much you can do is 8 hours. Because the rest of the hours, 8 hours, you're supposed to be sleeping. And then the other 8 hours, you're supposed to be commuting. There are so many things. So then the question is, what do you do with this limited time? So the ability to focus, manage your time very well is very important. Yeah. And considering also there are all these, you know, competing interests and distractions. So time management is one of the key skills. The other one, as we said, is people management skills. Not necessarily leadership. Because you don't have to be in a position of power or authority for you to be able to influence others. And that is where you'll find there are people who, they didn't go to school, but they know how to relate with people. Think about that driver who talks to the CS. He can call the CS and the CS picks the phone. Or think about that receptionist or PA who, if they say you're not going to enter that office, it doesn't matter how well you know the boss, they are the authority. Why? It's because this person has good people management skills with whoever they are working with. Yeah. So I would say that's also a key trait that we need to be on the lookout for. Another one is good financial management skills. So the more money you make, the more either people want from you, or you find, you know, many ways to use that money. So if you had good financial management skills, then you find whatever you are making, you're able to save and even invest. Another skill which I feel is very important is the ability to persevere. If you look at all these famous people, think about Baba. He's been at it for how many years? 40 years. Before you were way before you were born, Cynthia. I mean, even before I was born, I mean, he was a politician. So look at it, it has taken him maybe 40 to 50 years to be where he is. And he has not even given up. But what about us? Sometimes you think about this idea, a week doesn't end, you've dropped it. Yeah, so perseverance is key. If you're going to make it, if you're going to be successful. I was being reminded of the owner of Citizen TV, Mr. Masharia. I believe Citizen TV is, of all the ventures he had, it's the most successful. And it's something he started way later in his life. I mean, he's probably in his 70s, and Citizen TV is like 20 years. So this is a business he started in his 50s. So if he had also given up in terms of being a businessman, Citizen TV will not be where it is. Yeah. So I'd say those are some of the traits. And another one also is planning, the ability to plan. Anticipate, plan, and work that plan. Because a lot of people also, they wish, they are not happy with where they are. They look at others who are doing well, they wish they were those, but now if you ask them to come up with a plan and actualize that plan, very few people are willing to put in the work, the time. So then you find that's why they stagnate, they remain where they are. Because it does take you, it's not enough for you to desire. You know, you've got to move beyond the desire, you plan, and then you execute. There's action, and only then will you be able to meet your goals. You
have mentioned a few people, the owner of Citizen, Raila.
Yes.
Do you have other examples that people who embody these habits?
Yes, there are many Kenyans. I remember the story of James Moria. He's the CEO of Centum. And he's been at Centum for, I believe, over 20 years. And guess what? He's the CEO now. I mean, the late Chris Kirubi, has groomed him. But do you know he started as an intern? And this is a story you can Google. I mean, he joined Centum, in the filing department.
Yeah.
Yeah. But over time, I mean, he's been able to grow now to the level of CEO where he's been able to manage quite a big portfolio. Yeah, so James Moria, and also, let's not forget the upcoming politicians. Some of these people you look up to, and we laugh about it, we see them as jokers. But when you look at what they've been able to overcome, it's quite inspiring. There's this young MP called Peter Sarasia. Yeah. He was giving this story where he would go to Matanga, the barrios, and the MPs, the former MPs would contribute 50,000, and him you'd only have 1,000 shillings. Yeah. Sometimes you'd walk because even he can't afford a border. But you see, because of that, he was able to connect with the people, and they found that they found him suitable for that position. Yeah.
So let's say you want to adopt these habits. Where do you start, and how do you ensure you also maintain them in the long run?
I think number one is to realize that it's not going to be an easy journey. Yeah. Kenyans, how many Kenyans are we?
Very many.
The population is like 50 million people.
Yes.
Yeah. So the people who are successful are the people who stand out. So get to understand the journey will not be easy. There will be many ups and downs, and it's normal, because even the people that we've mentioned, if it's Baba, I think he was imprisoned for 9 years. I've given you the example of the citizen owner. There's a time his business was taken over by the government. I think he was put into prison. There was a lot of frustration by the Kanu government. So all the people we look up to, they've all gone through a lot of stuff. Look at the current president, William Ruto. I mean, he was at the ICC docket. Anything could have happened.
Yes.
Yeah. Even the mere fact of him, being able to oppose his boss, run a campaign, and be successful, it's not something small. Yeah. So I think for me, the big takeaway is whatever you're thinking about, get to understand that it's normal to face the obstacles. But what you make the difference is you being able to stay put, being persistent, and riding the wave, whether good or bad.
Yeah, being intentional and deliberate in
terms
of
exactly.
maintaining them.
Yes. And don't forget about what people you say, because whether you're doing well or bad, people you talk.
Yes.
And unfortunate thing with human beings is they only see the end result. So someone you look at that big car, admire, they'll look at the big office, they'll look at you being healthy. People don't care so much about what has happened in the back end. That's your own struggle. So if you expect people to cheer you on, you utagoja, your life will be very hard. But if you do your own things, if you're focused, you do your own things, motivate yourself. Not to say that there are not people who will help you, but there are not many. And that's a reality. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Karibu.
I hope you've heard from Paminas.
And you're also a successful Kenyan.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, Paminas, and thank you for watching this video. I hope you get the tips. Paminas is a tested business owner, so he shares his experiences and also what he has learned throughout his journey. And for more tips, please subscribe to the channel. See you next time.